My dear Sita, seva to Ram can only be attained through your grace. Please convince Lord Ram. My conviction and my commitment to Ram is such. Deeptim agnim aranyam va. Even if there is a burning forest fire and I see Ram entering, yadi Ramam pravekshati, if Ram is entering, praveshtum tatra mam devi. I want to enter that forest fire before Ram. So therefore, I am totally committed to serving him in all circumstances, in all situations. And when Sumantra tells Lord Ram, I am going back to Dasharath, I am leaving you in the forest, what is my message? Ram says, I have no message. Sita Devi says, please offer my respects to Dasharath and all the other queens. Sumantra turns to Lakshman and says, what is your message? And Lakshman says, Aham tabat maharaje pitrutvam no palakshaye bhrata bhardascha bandhuscha pitascha mama raghava. My dear Sumantra, you go and tell Dasharath that from this day onwards I am cutting off my ties with him as his son. From this day onwards he is no longer my father. Pitrutvam na upalakshaye. I don't see him as my father. Sumantra is shocked. What are you saying? Why are you making such heavy statement? And Lakshman says, because of Ram being banished to the forest, millions of Ayodhya Vasis are affected. Millions of Vaishnavas are hurt. Their heart is broken. If someone is offending millions of devotees like this, I cannot continue my relationship with such a Vaishnava Aparadi. And therefore I am cutting off my ties. And go and tell that King Dasharath that Bhrata, Bhartascha, Bandhuscha, Pitascha, Mama Raghava. From this day onwards, Lord Ram is my father, my well-wisher, my friend, my parent, my everything. So Lakshman was totally dedicated to serving Lord Ram in all circumstances. Therefore, his name is Lakshmano, which means Lakshmi Sampanna, one who is filled with the wealth of service at the lotus feet of Lord Ram. Service means there will be challenges, because you are trying to please the master, and the master's desires are many times difficult to understand. Sita and Ram are in the forest with Guha. It is late at night. Sita and Ram are offered straw to sleep. Both of them immediately hit the ground, they go to sleep. Lakshman takes a sword in his hand and he starts circumambulating Sita and Ram, guarding them at night. Guha watches this. Guha comes to Lakshman and says, Sita and Ram are sleeping. Why are you still awake with sword in hand? Lakshman says, Sita and Ram are used to sleeping in the opulent bed of Ayodhya and they are sleeping on the straw. The goddess of fortune is sleeping on the straw. How can I sleep? I have taken a vow that for the next 14 years I am not going to sleep. I am simply going to guard them day and night and serve them. Therefore, I have the sword in my hand to protect them from the attack of the demons. And Lakshman continued circumambulating with sword in hand. This is what Lakshman told Guha of his intention. But Guha had a doubt. Guha steps back and then he thinks, Lakshman is carrying the sword in the hand and is awake at night because Lakshman is an agent of Bharat, who has been sent by Bharat to kill Ram at night. I know that. Who has told him? Nobody. And so Guha takes an arrow, places it on a bow behind the bushes. Hiding from Lakshman, he starts circumambulating, pointing the arrow at Lakshman. With the intention of what? I will not allow Ram to be harmed. I will protect Ram from Lakshman. Who gave him that seva? Nobody. Self-inspired. And so Lakshman is circumambulating with sword in hand. Guha is circumambulating, pointing the arrow at Lakshman. Fully attentive. Jai Sri Ram. He is fully in Ram Bhav. He is fully convinced this is what Ram needs at this moment. Now, that's not the end of the story. Guha's soldiers look at this scene. And one soldier asks another soldier, what is our king doing? What is Guha doing? And the other soldier says, can't you see? He is not satisfied being king of the forest, he wants to be king of Ayodhya. What do you mean? Look at his arrow, it is pointed towards Ram, he wants to kill Ram. So that is another rumor. So Guha has his arrow pointed at Lakshman, and his soldiers start discussing how Guha wants to kill Ram. And another soldier says, Guha may be my king, but Ram is the ultimate. I will not allow Guha to kill Ram. Jai Sri Ram. And then others say, come on, we should do our best to protect Ram from Guha. Behind Guha, behind the trees and the bushes, hundreds of soldiers of Guha take their arrows pointing towards Guha with full attentiveness that the moment Guha tries to release the arrow and kill Ram, we will kill him. So that night, the only two people who slept peacefully were Sita. Everybody else was having total doubt on each other. So therefore, Lakshman is trying to serve with his best intention. But even when we serve with the best intentions, sometimes there will be misinterpretation of our intentions. And then the enthusiasm goes down. Right? Prabhupada's servant was taking some kachoris for Srila Prabhupada. And he gave the kachoris to Prabhupada to eat. Prabhupada said, I will eat the kachoris tomorrow. He took one piece and he said, remaining I will eat tomorrow. Keep it for tomorrow. So the servant brought the kachoris, went to the kitchen, and in the kitchen when Mataji was cooking, so this servant told this lady, I am keeping the kachoris in this corner in the kitchen. I will take it tomorrow to give to Prabhupada. This lady was cooking. She said, kitchen is very dangerous place to keep any prasad like this. It will not remain till tomorrow. And I can't take responsibility of its security. You better take it. There's no, I don't have any other place. This is the place. You are responsible. And he kept that kachori and he left. Next day he came and he asked this lady again, where is that kachori? I don't see it. She said, I told you not to keep it here. And he said, but I told you, you take care. And there was like an argument. And he said, now it's time for me to take the kachori to Prabhupada. What do I do? So that lady was busy cooking. She was thinking that this person is disturbing me unnecessarily. So she said, if Prabhupada asks what happened to the kachori, you tell him some cat entered the kitchen and cat ate the kachori. Cats keep coming to the kitchen. You can tell him. So she didn't take it seriously. She just made that comment. So he goes to Srila Prabhupada. The servant goes to Prabhupada, spends some time. Servant comes back. When he comes back to the kitchen, so this lady smiles at this servant, thinking that he must have been chastised nicely. And she says, what did Prabhupada say? And the servant said, Prabhupada said, whoever said cat has eaten, that person has eaten. She said, how can Prabhupada say that? My intentions are being questioned. I am serving with such pure intention, pure thought. How could you even think like that? And then her mind went into a storm. And then she thought, no, the important thing is Prabhupada wants kachori. So I should not get bewildered. She controlled herself and goes to another kitchen, gets some dough and makes fresh kachoris and sends. And then the servant comes back and tells her, Prabhupada said these kachoris were better than yesterday's. And he had 5 of them. So therefore, Lord Ram represents integrity, Lakshman represents service attitude, but one can only continue serving if one has the ability to deal with all kinds of accusations on our intentions. And not only Lakshman, the personification of that was Bharat. So the third brother, Bharat, represents tolerance, a very important quality. What does tolerance mean? The willingness to go through challenging situations, provoking situations, agitating situations, but still not react. Understanding that yes, this is the Lord's plan and Lord's desire. So therefore Bharat comes from the word Bharavahi iti Bharata. Bharavahi means one who could tolerate heavy provocations without becoming angry. Because when we are provoked, we become angry. So Bharat was accused of being party to the conspiracy. Ayodhya is accused. You are responsible. You are co-conspirator with Kaikeyi. Bharat had no role to play. Vasishtha Rishi also told him. He was not allowed to offer the last rites to Dasharath Maharaj, saying, Vasishtha said, Dasharath while dying, he said, at no cost should Bharat be allowed to touch my body because he is a sinful soul. He is a demon. He has conspired against me, against Ram. Do not allow him to touch my body. Bharat was shocked. He has to spend his entire life with the thought that this is how my father thought about me just before departing. I have no way to clarify. So therefore he was carrying that heavy load of misunderstanding. And then Lord Ram gave him the task. You take care of Ayodhya and the administration. You administer Ayodhya Vasis, most of whom do not like you. It is very difficult to administer a group of people who don't like you. It's suffocating. So Bharat Maharaj would take bath early in the morning at 1:30 in Sarayu. Why? Because after 2:30, the Ayodhya Vasis would come to take a bath. And when they would see Bharat, they would become so angry and upset, they would take stones and hit Bharat. So therefore Bharat, for 14 years, was administering Ayodhya from Nandigram, accepting the heavy responsibility of administration without accepting any of the facility and enjoyment of a king. He was an embodiment and an emblem of tolerance. And therefore one can only tolerate when one is free from all the anarthas, when one is free from anger, when one is free from all of these principles, right? So I was, giving a talk at Yeravada jail in Pune, and this was like 500 prisoners were sitting in front of me. And I really like jail program because you don't need advertisement for getting the crowd. So 500 prisoners were sitting, and I gave a talk and I asked for questions. One prisoner raised his hand and said, I have a question. I said, ask. He said, I want to come on the stage and ask the question. I looked at the commissioner of police, my friend, and said, who is this? And the commissioner whispered in my ear, he has committed 12 murders. I said, am I going to be 13? Why does he want to come on the stage? He says, no, let him come. This guy comes on the stage, asks the question. Everybody is like, extremely impressed with that question, that there is a Pandit amongst us also. And I gave the answer. And after that I asked him, at such a young age, how you committed so many crimes? And he said, when I am provoked and anger rises in my heart, my discrimination goes blind. There is a blackout. I can't see anything. But now I'm happy that something auspicious has happened. I said, what? He says, in the jail, all of us are asked to do various tasks. So my task is to translate books in Braille language for the blind. And the recent book I am translating into Braille is Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. And he said, reading this Bhagavad Gita, I am inspired to also transform myself. And so we started a jail program which went successfully for the next 4 years. And at least 50 prisoners, hardcore criminals, they started chanting 16 rounds.